Krista, what is the block for Krista? What's the block? Wow. Are you sure there is a block? Wow. I think you're looking towards the past, towards your yester self comes in again. Yes, yes. Okay, we did some writing on that. Something about your past. Okay, yeah, okay. I was getting earlier today, and I don't know why this came strongly, but this is what it says. In order to love who you are, you can't hate the experience that shaped you. This is from the Spiritual AF deck. And then I was writing in my journal down below, the Big Chief Journal, about our yester self and how that's connected. And what echoes of the past are. They're echoes. They're meant to teach us a little bit. But what is your block? I think it's your attachment to the past. Let's see what else is going on. You've got the Five of Wands coming through pretty strong. And these are like the holographic cards. So you got the Five of Wands. Five of Embers. I'm going to show you. Hopefully you can see the holograph. So this, when it flips, you can see it's not just a battle, but it could be consuming. And it feels like the past is what's consuming. The past is the block. The forward thinking, the forward momentum is great, but it's defined sometimes by who we are. Let that be an echo. Let it be a guide, but don't let it be a cage around you. Then we have here the Queen, and this is saying Queen of Pentacles, but Geomancer. It's hard to read that, Geomancer. This is the one that, okay, yes, old reference, Geomancer, Romancing the Stone comes through to mind. Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas, old movie. She goes on the adventure, she goes on the quest, and she gets ever more opened up to what she thought she was, who she thought she was. Her character expands and becomes quite big in this, but in pursuit of something that delights her, in pursuit of more magic and more mystery. The Geomancer, you've got all the practical stuff you need, and perhaps you're a little bit overgrounded. Know your worth, know your value. Yes, that's the Queen of Coins lessons. Know what's in the pantry. Yes, but that doesn't mean live in the pantry. So yeah, Geomancer, Romancing the Stone, this Kathleen Turner type of energy. Retrain what it is you're learning to do. This is interesting. She actually held pencil erasers between her teeth to teach herself how to speak with a lower voice. She has a very lower kind of sultry kind of voice. And there was a story, an interview that she did once a long time ago. There's a retraining that needs to be done and an acceptance of adventure that needs to happen. Then you have the Nine of Embers, Nine of Wands. Whoa, my goodness. And this is gorgeous. Now, if you look at this, you see the flowers and the volcano. So this is what it's doing. So instead of letting this fire consume you, it's very focused and letting things erupt, letting things bubble to the surface, and then letting that rejuvenate what is there from the past. Burn off what doesn't need to be there. What I'm getting is the past is meant to give you an echo, a remembrance, a preliminary track, but it's not meant to trap you in a groove. Old school record players, they used to get stuck in a groove and you'd hear the same thing over and over and over and over. You don't need to hear that anymore. You don't need to hear the same thing over and over and over. You just need to lift the needle and go on a separate groove. That's what's going on. That's what I've got for you. Holy cow. Okay, Lauren just sent Cash App for a blind read. Okay, Lauren, let's get to it. And if you guys pay for a read, let Kim know what's going on. You guys know the drill, and Kim will flash it in there, and I will do the quick commercial, and then we'll get into Lauren's read. But this is what it is. This is how you can pay me. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. The E comes for the I in Feisty. This is what we're going to be doing. The blind read, that's $20 blind oracle. You get the read you need. $30 is a year ahead. If you want to ask a question, there's a $30 and $40 read. And this is the specialty reads. Okay, enough commercial. We're going to the blind read for Lauren. Okay, hang on. Okay. Just wait for a minute. I want to go to the Rooted Woman deck. I was spending some time with that yesterday, and I really loved it. It was really interesting. We're going there for you. For Lauren. Let's tip this down. Okay. And I want to stay in here for you. Okay. So this is what I'm seeing here. We've got the forest, the sea, and then we've got the Kaliak. And the Kaliak is saying protector of the wild. This is where the forest meets the sea, where all the water, the emotional courage, the things that you have coming forward that you've plummeted from the depths are meant to help nourish the land and help it grow. There's an edge, there's an intersection of such that needs to be there. You've got Binfiasa, which is women's wisdom. This one is planting the trees in the forest. I need to take a look at that in a minute. And the wasteland. Ooh, okay. Echoes from the past, reclaiming the feminine, the well, and the quest. Okay, I need to see these right side up. So give me just a minute. Okay. Here we are. This is you. Forest edge, forest edge. A little bit of the water needs to be sought out, gotten, collected. 1111 coming through right now where I'm at. It's like you need to take something to the sea where you would collect and own the water. Old school reference. If you go back to Disney Jungle Book where the girl is at the water and Mowgli, the main character, sees her and she's saying she's got to go and get the water every day. It's what she's got to do. This is how you got to get in touch, in connection with your emotion every day. You've got to go where the forest meets the sea every day. At the beginning of the day, collect your emotions, regather, regroup yourself. Gather, gather, gather. Gather your women's wisdom ready for the day. Have your emotions centered. Get yourself stable before you just rush into it. Then you can be the protector of the wild. Then you can protect the others. Then you can be in your day, about your day, running around like crazy if you must, but you don't get lost. Reclaiming the soul, reclaiming the self is important. Otherwise, when you're short on this, when you're not doing this, this is all you're getting. And it feels like wasteland. It feels like wasted time. There's a sense of, this is a strong word, but barrenness, a strong of unfruitfulness, unproductiveness that you don't like when you're not taking care of yourself first. The well, source of life. You've got to go and get the water that is necessary for your day, for yourself, before you can do the day. There's a certain way of extreme thinking that you need to be a little bit more aware. It's not just up, down, up, down, up, down. It's not just black, white, black, white, black, white. There's a need for you to get this kind of energy merging in order to see more color rather than just black, white, black, white. There's a need for you to plant and tend and care for something, plant and tend and take care of something. I don't care if it's a house plant or a cactus or whatever. Whatever it is, you need to see and daily check in and have this plant and care for something. It's not just your own soul. There's something beyond your own soul. There's a garden that needs tended to that you have not tended to enough lately. There's something about this. I want to go a little deeper for this. The garden doesn't feel literal. The garden feels like a metaphor. I'm seeing a pack of crayons and coloring paper and the wall and the flowers by the garden wall, that kind of thing. And then free fall. This is saying the fall, but I'm getting free fall. And of course I would. Of course I would. This is something you need to let go, release, let go. Let your creativity be honored for a little bit. This is huge for you. This is a big necessary thing. The free fall actually gives you the ability of flight. Reclaiming the feminine for self, reclaiming the creative flow, reclaiming that influx. This is what you're getting into when you get into the emotional waters, when you get yourself emotionally centered and grounded. You're reclaiming your own flow. You're reclaiming your own energy in that mode. And you're also reaching in within for your own inner wisdom. And this is huge for you. It takes what was the crappy bullshit of yesterday and kind of reduces the effect of that when the next morning you allow yourself to have the fresh start. You allow yourself to be lost in emotions and joy for the next day coming forward. This is how you protect yourself from black and white thinking, all or nothing thinking. It needs to be stopped. It needs to be merged. There needs to be a blend. Then that's when you go forward, Realize that this life that you're in is your quest to go forward. Realize that this is your time. It is your season. And it's up to you to ride the right horse for you first. You hear me say that endlessly, ad nauseum, I say that. But who is on this horse? She is on the horse. She's not waiting for Romeo to come in and save the fucking day. She's doing what she needs to do for herself. This is a beautiful energy coming through. There's something about the Arctic fox that wants to come through, Whether you think of wolves or whether you think of Arctic fox, and for you it's Arctic fox. It's the white fox. It's the white animal. It's the weird white animal. But this one is also crafty and sly and also often unobserved because blends with the terrain. He is a chameleon of the north. The Arctic fox will scavenge. It will hunt. It will be clever and sly, yes. But it will blend in with just white, and to the point of almost diffusing out. Don't forget to hunt for what it is that you need to hunt for. And this is something that feeds and nourishes your soul. This is something important for you. It's not just an empty. You can route something out. You can find something out. You can go deeper if you allow yourself just a little bit of this time. Follow the senses. Follow the fox senses, whatever this is. When we see white in animals, it's usually an honored thing, but this one is the white in the fox. This is important for you. There's something about being clever and crafty that you have gotten over time that is a bad association that you think, oh, that's not good to do. It is good to do. It is good to be skillful and stealthy for your own behalf. We think that, it's so manipulative to look out for our own best interest, and yet it is not. For you, there is a time where you need to do this a little bit more, a little bit stronger for your own soul, for your own self. That's huge important for you. It's okay to allow yourself to be the clever one, the crafty one, and the skilled one, and to take care of yourself first. That's what I've got. That's complete. That's beautiful. And this is the Rooted Woman. And this is the Oracle deck. So that's what I've got for that. All right, let me get a little bit of water. And Kim, if you let me know who's next on the list, we'll see what's going on. And you guys, if you get a reading, let Kim know that you've paid for a reading and which reading you've paid for, because she helps me keep my brain on straight. So Kim will help me keep things straight as far as what I'm doing. You guys can let her know which read that you've paid for, and we'll continue with that. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that was a big one. Okay. Stacey Ann for the blind. Okay. Stacey Ann. Okay, I've got the Practical Magic Oracle deck here. And I want to go to the Elemental Empath with it, in combination with it. Don't be upset if it's too pretty for you, okay? If it's too pretty for you, you're going to have to get out of your own way on that one. Wait. Okay, Kim. I'm waiting. Year ahead? She wants year ahead instead for Stacey Ann. Kim, you let me know. She's a year ahead. Okay. Year ahead for Stacey Ann. Okay. I'm going to pull one from each of these anyway. Then we'll get to your year ahead, Stacey Ann. That's okay, Kim. That's okay. We're good. This one is saying embody forgiveness, crown of stars and thorns. Okay. And confidence. And this is saying, and these, I wish I shouldn't have given up my bifocals. Take up space, love yourself, you're worthy. So these are the oracle cards that I'm pulling out of there. We're going to go in now to the tarot for the year ahead and see what comes through on that. Okay, I'm going to lower the phone. So for Stacey Ann's year ahead. Are we there? We're there. We're going to go to Wild Reflections Tarot for you. Two want to come from here. So here we have in the center of the circle for the year ahead, we have the Emperor sitting confident, strong, really, really approachable. Sometimes this dynamic and really, really compassionate man gets all caught up in the rules. He's sometimes seen as very, very rigid, even though deeply he's compassionate. Deeply he's concerned about the kingdom that he rules, the realm that he rules, but he needs to have structure, structure, structure. The Knight of Cups comes through in reverse. He doesn't need a lot of bullshit. What's vexing you and crossing you right now is the bullshit's artist, the promises, 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 the Romeo, Romeo, the quest, 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 but isn't armed for the battle and armed for the fight, and the Six of Cups nostalgia. This feels like something you actually know better about and somebody else trying to offer you a little bit of the Peter Pan syndrome when you need somebody in here stepping into his strength, stepping into his power a little bit more. There is a need and also a readiness for you to lead, to set down some, this is how it's got to go. As the Emperor, you need to set down, this is how it's got to go, and quit expecting Peter Pan to be the one in charge of your world. That's not going to let that go. That's not going to be how it goes. Okay, I'm going to take this one, put it to the side, get the same deck, second deck, trimmed the edges off. This is how we can tell them apart. We're going to go all the way around. Let's see what's going on, okay? All right. Starting in September. What is this? What is this? There's something that you don't want to hear. It's almost like you have, what are they called? Old school Walkman earbuds on, earphones on, where you're listening to something to block out the noise of something else. Okay, what's going on there? All right, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay, this is back to September with the Queen of Pentacles. Totally Virgo energy type of card in the suit of the earth, in the suit of the coins. The Queen of Coins knows her value, knows her worth. She knows what's going on. She knows what's in the pantry is what I say. I mean by that, she knows exactly how many cans of vegetable soup she has, how much chicken stock she has, when she's going to use the chicken, when she's going to make the Thanksgiving feast. She would take the turkey, strip it down to the bones, make the turkey noodle casserole afterwards. She knows what's going on. This girl knows how to thriftily use things. What is of value, what is not of value, she knows. And she knows how to combine these elements for her own good. When the value comes in question for her, it throws her for a loop. She knows. Trust your own inner knowing on this. Take the earphones off, whatever I'm getting about these earphones. Take the Walkman earphones off. Quit blocking out the sound of your own soul. October comes along and here's this Four of Cups. Something the universe is trying to offer you. It's like trying to get you to wake up and see something, but you're pushing it away. You're saying like, not today, I've got enough. When really, this is a huge gift coming towards you in October. A huge emotional reward, a huge emotional gift by relying on your own self, by going back to your own wisdom. This is huge for you. The Seven of Coins comes in November. This is where there has been some disappointment. I want some clarifications on here. I want the clarification between October and November. But this is where the fruits of labor are coming in. I want the clarification. I want it now. So we're going to the first deck. What is it you're refusing to see that's slowing down your growth? I'm getting, whose company are you keeping around you that doesn't need to be around you so much? Whose company are you keeping that is taking away from the fertileness of your soil, taking away from the nourishment of your soil? Whose company are you keeping that is a snipe and gripe type of energy that doesn't add, that might always bring drama to your doorstep or something to your doorstep that isn't necessary, that just draws from you and doesn't really nourish? That it's like I'm getting the metaphor of here with the soil, and like the soil is being leached out because they're like a weed in your garden. Mentally, they take more strength to get rid of, to get out of, and they want to create their problem to be your problem, and it's not your fucking problem. Something about this you need to let go of. You need to take the gift for self. You need to honor your boundaries a little more strongly. King of Wands comes up in December, but I want to see between October, there we go, October, November, the Three of Pentacles. This is the teamwork card. This is where somebody sees what it is that you do and acts as a benefactor. If somebody were going to put in a stained glass window at a church, which is typically depicted for this card, they would need to be paid for their skill, their work, their learning, and the supplies. They wouldn't just put it in like, boom, here you go, and yeah, no problem. No, it needs to be honored. The creativity needs to be honored. The time, the talent, the joy that's invested in what you create, in your art, in the way you weave your life together. It needs to be honored by people that are on your team, not just people that pretend to be and then take from. What do we got going on November to December? This particular holiday season for you, be very mindful of where you're spending excess cash and excess energy and knock it off. You don't need to get everybody and their goddamn dog a gift and blah, 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 and have yourself run out of finances and resources. You don't need to spend your days running around in circles on behalf of someone else. Stop. Stop. You're doing too much work on your heart that doesn't lead you forward. This is because of an old truth that you've picked up. You are deserving of the love that you have just because you exist. This is coming back. It's referencing back here. You know this about yourself. Up here, you know this. But old patterns, old obligations, old senses of duty that call you forward make you forget. Don't forget. King of Wands in December. You are the one that leads. You are the one that is inspired. Let others follow your lead, but you have to assert yourself as the king, not as the minion. Okay, we've got Page of Cups coming up in January. Creative new enterprise going forward. Creative new start, new messages coming forward. And this is something that's emotionally fulfilling. This is huge for you. A holiday season seems like it's going to be a little bit of turbulence. Not like plane crash turbulence, but a little bit of turbulence, a little bit of uncomfortable, a little bit of, fuck, I knew that. I knew better. You know better. You know better, do better. So stand true for yourself. Page of Cups is calling again. Calling to you in a loud kind of way. Ten of Swords. Time to move on. There is something, okay, yes. Yes. There is something that is tethered. I'm seeing images of ribbons on the falcon's leg, claw, ribbons on this, or the butterfly that's tethered to the rock. There's a tetheredness that is going on that you need to cut that string, cut the ribbons. You need to fly free and let yourself be free. And be free of old expectations and old roles. This is a shift in the role going forward. In January, it's like you're making a final snip or clip to that tether that holds you to an old role in that box. You fought too hard to be who you are to let somebody else try and define you any further. And in January, you know this. In January, you are ready for the new start. And if they can't handle the version of yourself that you long to be because you know that is who you are, then they will fade off and they will not be moving forward with you. There are people in our world at different seasons for different reasons, different times and places. You are having a shift of who you believe yourself to be and want to continue to be. Fool comes in February. This is taking the leap of faith. This is the universe having your back. This is the universe conspiring for you if you dare to take the leap of faith. Now, this is tra-la-la-la-la. You got to go into it without knowing all the answers, without knowing who's going to show up for you or not. There is something that's a big faith ask here. Big faith. What's going on with this Fool? January and February feel really, really big. Love it. Six of Pentacles. The universe is trying to balance the scales and give you a gift. There is something where I said the Three of Coins, if they aren't going to see your gift or pay you for it, they need to bugger off, right? The universe is trying to give you a gift. I'm getting the metaphor of a blind man finally seeing, somebody taking the bandages off their eyes and being able to see again for the first time, see themselves clearly. You've had a distorted view of self for so long that you've bought into it a little too long. It's time for what you know yourself to be allowed to be set free, to move towards this in February. This is the gift, the balancing of the scales, the Eight of Wands. Momentum picks up in March. Picks up, boom, 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 boom. You go from the Fool to the World. It's like you've totally let go of something old. You've stepped into something new. The Fool goes all the way through to the World and then back again to the Fool. Starts again. This is when the completion of that old lesson through the whole holidays, through the whole winter is done, done. You've rested, you've completed, you're well on your way. Six of Wands, you're victorious going on. So you've got March, April, May. This is May. It really is. You might want to consider yourself as a student right now in the mode of back to school and learning the spiritual lesson that you thought you forgot. It's like when somebody goes to college and they step away, maybe they raise some kids for a while and then they go back to college again. This is where you're remembering again these lessons, these gifts. This is what's coming in May. In June, Six of Swords, leaving the rough waters for the peace. This is leaving a difficult and harsh situation It feels like, yes, it feels like there are 3 people or 3 misunderstandings that are coming through with this here. And the first of them appears in October. It feels like these conflicts of interest, harsh conversation, difficulty of people understanding your boundaries. These 3 experiences of growth that you're going to have to leave something behind that is a little painful is just you shedding a skin. You wouldn't force yourself to walk in shoes that are 3 sizes too small, right? You wouldn't force yourself to be in an uncomfortable situation that just didn't fit you. And you will have outgrown and gone beyond it. And then what happens? 6 of Cups. The happy that you saw, here it is in duplicate. It's crossing over this Knight of Cups right across the year, right? This Peter Pan thing. The 6 of Cups, the happy that's deeper under the nostalgic myth is what's going to be returning to here. Because you refuse to sugarcoat the shit sandwich anymore. You're just like, you're not having it. You're not going to have this. If something isn't up to what you need it to be, or if something is trying to keep you too small, you're not going to hang out with the people that are just energetic vampires and take with no give. You're going to learn to do it differently because you're honoring self, honoring soul. Honoring that first gets you the deep happy that you've wanted all along. Because you're walking in the way of the Emperor, not in the way of the idiot. There's no idiot card in the Major Arcana, but there is the Fool. The Fool trusts to move forward without knowing. You're not walking foolishly. You are walking like the Fool in the higher sense, where you let go of all these outdated versions of self. 7 of Swords is here. Now this is August. Now this is the one that gets a bum rap. Every card has like their positive and their negative aspects. The bum rap on this. The bum rap is Sneaky Pete, the thief, right? Takes all the swords and goes their own way. 7 of Swords. This is shown here. In the traditional viewing of this card, you see the person leaving the camp, leaving the soldiers behind, taking the swords, 5 of the swords with him, and leaving 2 behind. He doesn't leave them totally unarmed, but he doesn't encourage the battle either. He lives to fight another day. He knows the battle isn't where it's going to be won. The old battle doesn't need entered into anymore, and he's doing something different. In this one, the 7 of Swords is depicted, and it looks like arrows in a quiver with a golden one right here. It's giving me the Sword of Truth here. This truth, the Sword of Truth is also something that has to do with integrity, hugely so. Ready to move forward in your own integrity, ready to move forward with something that's forged very strongly for you in August. Now I want to see what happens between August, September, the year's end, the year's marking. What do we see? Hierophant. This is when the lesson is granted and given, access is given, the sense of belonging is there. Usually we see the priest and the 2 young monks that are given the keys to the kingdom, right? The sense of belonging, the keys to the higher learning, the higher lesson has been mastered. The keys are given, the blessing is given, the welcoming is given. There could be changes in career and position in how you lead. And the student now becomes teacher. It's understood. Anything else? Let's go deep again. Let's go deep. We're going back into here. The confidence here, and this is very Phoenix type of energy. People forget that the Phoenix has to set the damn nest on fire and be very comfortable with the flames around her, the flames licking up, the flames consuming portions that don't work in that nest anymore in order to have the flight, in order to have the higher version of herself appear. This one's saying, embody forgiveness, the crown of stars and thorns. What it is if you want this throne, if you want to own your throne, own your show, you need to forgive what's happened in the past while acknowledging, yes, it's helped you become who you are, but you've simply outgrown it. And the people and the things that you have outgrown, the cases of things that you have outgrown, they need to be let go and allowed to be let go. This is what's going on for you. You have outgrown a situation and now you're getting the nudge. It feels like there's going to be 3 clarifying truths before this comes through. You have outgrown a way of doing something. You're no longer waiting on the whole world to do this or do that. You're not going to wait forever for anything. You're going to start doing things in the way where you're taking the action. You're more proactive for your own behalf. You're truer to yourself than you've been. You're not suffering the fools or the idiots or the vampires any further. You just don't have enough time. Nobody does. To suffer these vampires all the time. You're done with it. Anything else? Trust your own crown. Trust your own wisdom. Trust your own dreams when you see things appear. When you see them come in. You be on the looking for, look for the thorns. Look for the places where people are like thorns, where they feel like thorns. Look for what is the lesson in the pain of the thorns. You have the lesson of Sleeping Beauty and the whole thing where her whole briar rose and the Sleeping Beauty is in there, but there's all these thorns around. You have the briar patch from like an old school story about Brer Rabbit. You have the lesson of just even in modern song, you have every rose has a thorn, but the thorns are part of the experience. When you have that little bit of pain, when you understand that, don't just have it be for nothing. Let it help you grow. Let it help you attain more phoenix energy going forward. And if you're in relationships, plural, that are not serving, be they friend, be they family, be they romantic partner, whatever. It could be that you have one of each of those. If they are not keeping up with the version of yourself that you know yourself to be, they need to have distance created in them so they can learn how you want to honor yourself, and you will need to teach them. You can be compassionate and kind, but hold your boundaries like a motherfucker, all right? That's what I got. That's complete. Wow, that's really, really potent going forward for you, honey. That's big, strong stuff. And you're up for the task. You're so welcome, honey. So, so welcome. Yeah, it's just like sometimes challenging to let ourselves grow into the new things. We love our old shoes. We love the shoes that are too small. They were our favorites, but we outgrew them. So that's what I got. Okay. All right. And I'm going to, that's going to cut that one video.